So the process for cleaning these wheels is take one of the wheels, you get your magnifying thing, and you go in here, and you find fluff, and you tweeze off that little piece of fluff, and you get it off your tweezers, and then you go in and you tweeze. I can only imagine what would happen if you had a cat. Which I don't. I have dogs, but they're poodles, so they don't shed. So here, for example, big piece of fluff, go in. Sometimes you find this just like your rotary thing in your vacuum. It wraps around, so you have to get hold and unwrap it. And sometimes pull hard enough to break that little piece of whatever it is and get it out of there. So every wheel, you have to go through that, and it's going to take me a lot longer than that. That's just a demonstration. Okay, now for the little wheels, I've picked out what I can. Now I take a piece of cloth like this. I dip it in my rubbing alcohol, so this is 70% isopropyl. And I clean the outside of the wheels. So sometimes there's lint stuck there as well, and I'm trying to make sure if there's any grease or anything on them, that I get that off. And go through that on each one. Then I bend this and clean the axle. And then I got to get a thinner piece to get between the short part of the gear and the axle, but I know there's some gunk in there. See a little bit on there. And I do this for each wheel. So an engine turns into, it's looking like an afternoon job. I didn't check my start time, but I have a rough estimate. I'll be able to tell you how many hours I spent doing this. But it's relaxing stuff for me, so I'm okay with that. Would have been okayer if I hadn't put grease all over the place in the first place. So let's take a close inspection of that. And I can see there's a little piece of hair or something in there still. So we'll get that off. Then it's back to the gauge now that that one's clean, and make sure it's perfect. It's a little bit narrow. Not surprising. So you just grab them and you twist a little and pull apart gently. And now it's a little bit better, but not quite there. So do the same thing again. And that's exactly where I want it. Yeah, everything looks good on that one, so now I'll do the rest. Only 2 more to go. The guy's got to have a little bit of fun. Wanting to check to see if these are engaged or not. They certainly appear to be. Ooh. It's like one of those things. Can you make sure they don't roll off the end? Alright, one of the things when you're cleaning out stuff like this with soap and water, you rinse it and all, but I'm always worried about there being residual water, and well, I'll leave it to dry for a while. I don't want to wait until tomorrow in order to have everything ready to go. So, Can Air, your friend in this case. I just spray it all over. Try not to use too big a blast. And rotate those gears. And I guess if I was really doing it properly, I'd have something like this so that the water would blow into it. So now you can hardly see, but anyway. And for these, what I'll do is take my alcohol, and I have a broad toothbrush here. It's enough to get a drop of alcohol into each one. that aside. I have another toothbrush I've been using as a burrowing instrument. And I'll bring this up so you can see better. Move the alcohol out of the way. And all I do is hold it down and twirl. It's wood, so it's not going to damage the brass, phosphorus, whatever the hell this is, the actual material. So this is just an attempt to get, you see how black the end of that is, get all the black out of there. So I can see that that one's looking better. And I just take my Q-tip, do a quick circle in each one. That'll absorb anything else. Then I take a really quick visual inspection, nice and close up. And those are looking really good. These guys also. The next step I sometimes do, and I'll just show you on the middle one here. Well, I'll show you on all of these, I guess. I'm going to do it sometimes, I might as well just do it. More alcohol, and I take a Woodland Scenics T-pin, and I do the same thing. Insert it all the way down, because the axles are very pointed that go in here, and the toothpick may not reach all the way down, although it seemed to this time. So just a little bit of that again, and I declare those ready to go. Remember, I went through, did the disassembly on these guys, used the tweezers to pick all of the lint out, used a toothbrush to clean these off, used other things. I made sure everything was fitting to the NMRA guide so that these wheel flanges were perfect. Ran them on a little piece of track just to make sure. And now I'm happy with that. I'm going to go through the reassembly process. Okay, and we're back. And it's... yeah, well, I'm going to video cut it all together so you'll never know I was gone. But other than that, yeah, I was away for a little while, doing some stuff, and now I'm back again and ready to reassemble. So we'll do that. Again, I don't remember which truck is front, which one's rear, which wheel set goes where, so all I'm going to do is start putting wheels in, and I'll start with the center one. And click, and it goes. Does it spin freely? You bet. Now that that wheel is in, when I spin this gear, it spins the other two. Anyway, put in the back wheel. Same thing, just rest it where it goes, and then press down, it clicks in. Front wheel, rest it where it goes, press down, click it in. And there you go, and it runs just fine. If I had a short piece of track here, which I thought I did, oh I do. Let's grab a short piece of track here, just for fun, and put that on. And you can see that it will run along there without any problem. Next, I need to get these contacts on the sides and insert it into here. There is a front and rear to this. If you look on the bottom, you'll see here's where all the gears are, and along here is a socket for the gears to go in, so it can only go on that way. It can't go on the other way. Step one here is to put these back on, and there's a little alignment pin that fits in there and there, which is that guy and that guy, and this sticks up here. So this will go there, there, and there. Little pins are in. hold that with, oh, let me look at this first. No, I thought there was a little bow to it. I don't want a little bow. If anything, I'd want it bowed that way, but that all seems to be fine. Okay, so that one's in okay. And take this one, do the same thing. This is one of these finicky bits. Okay, both of those are in nicely. Hold them in the middle. Gear sets align. Slide on the back. In my case, I'm going to slide the back on first. And there's actually a little spot where you can see where it'll slide in. So that's slid in, middle slide in, front slide in, close on everything. Before we do a final click, check to make sure everything's lined up, and then it's really close, back, front, side, make sure everything's spinning okay. That one. Now runs along there fine. So we got that guy done. Okay, back to doing the next one. I'm going to double check these again because the last one said they could be a little bit, if I just push it, little tiny bit of pressure and it's fine. A straight push isn't quite enough to do it. Let's put these two together just for fun. There, you can see with just a little there, so much wants to go, but not quite. Okay, I declare them done. So we've now gone ahead and completely cleaned these and degreased them and washed them. We've gone ahead with this and degreased everything and lubed just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 on each side points that we should have. And now we're going to do final assembly and hope these wires don't get in the way. So if you remember what the goal was today, the goal was on this little engine, this Great Northern, to get rid of that whine that was there. So we'll start off, don't have the shell back on yet, but slow speed. And in forward direction, I don't get that whine that I got before. We'll reverse it. We need to build in a little more delay on that reversing. Don't get the whine there either. Okay, now the shell's back on. No whine going forward. I mean, it has engine noise, but motor noise, but it doesn't have the whine that it did before. Then we'll hit reverse now. And away it goes. And then we'll hit forward now.